Welcome to another episode of Fuck Your Job. I'm Ron Worley.
And I'm Josh Fullenweider.
Fuck your job.
Hey guys, Ron Worley here.
Josh Fullenweider. And today we're going to talk about our WAG predictions for the real estate market in the next year or so.
I almost got on the ground and started humping the floor. So, not WAP?
Not WAP.
Or WAP.
WAG. A WAG. Oh, so no. WAG is a wild ass guess.
Not wraparound porch.
No. We're not doing the WAP here.
If you don't know what a WAP or a WAP is, go to TikTok. Okay, so a WAG, wild ass guess.
Wild ass guesses for the next year.
For real estate.
Real estate. We kind of brought up before we started interest rates.
Yeah.
So
you said Mr. Jerome is saying.
Yeah. Well, so Jerome Powell, if it's not in an actual meeting, you've got to listen to what he signals. And he'll say things like, we don't foresee these going, a lot of, and it's very subtle. So what actually gets said in the meetings has already been adjusted for in the market because he signals for a month in his the month or two before in his comments as to what's going on.
Interesting.
So by the time Jerome Powell comes to a meeting and says, hey, we're moving the benchmark up 0.25%.
Yeah. That's
already adjusted for in a lot of the markets because for a month they've been like, well, we might be able to move things up, and and they hint and hint, and the reason they do that is they don't want it to shock the market when they actually come out and move the benchmark.
Okay, smart.
So they've been strongly signaling that they're going to keep interest rates low for a while, for an extended period of time until at least the COVID crisis is over.
Okay. So we don't see interest rates playing a part in the market. What about jobs in the market? Jobs are coming back now.
Jobs are coming back. I think the biggest thing is with jobs is here in northern Colorado, so much of it's oil and gas.
Yep, and those aren't coming back.
Those are not.
Right. Yep.
And that one's going to be hard to overcome because so much of the world has moved to a Zoom format. Mm-hmm. People aren't going to drive even when they're back to work as much.
That's true.
So one of my nonprofits, everybody's obviously working from home right now, and we have a lot of people that are considered high risk for exposure. So we've moved to, and prior to this, we were actually thinking of opening up a second location. And now that we've done this, we're like, we don't need the office space anymore. Anybody we were going to have a second location with an office because we didn't have any office space can now work from home.
Great.
So they're not going to drive. And we can't be the only ones who decided this. REI, this is a true story. REI built a brand new headquarters and has put it up for sale because they don't foresee their workers ever coming back to the office.
Really?
Yeah. They're just, here you're all remote, we can go to a much smaller primary headquarters.
Yeah, I think that's happening a lot with COVID. Everybody's finding out they can work at home.
Yeah.
But it's really making for shitty customer service.
Oh, that's true.
So I digress, but it sounds like the commercial market may drop a little bit then.
Office space, I think, is going to drop.
Yeah. That's good though for people running businesses, entrepreneurs, because you can get building a little bit cheaper.
This just occurred to me, but I'm going to have to think on how it would affect your co-working spaces. Because I think co-working space offers a unique position in the market where those that are...
Can we put a pause on this?
Yeah. All right, we're back. But we were in the middle of talking about co-working spaces.
Yeah.
And kind of the impact on them. I think the people who were in co-working spaces might transition back to some at-home work for a while. I think I would foresee them having some big vacancies in the meantime, but I can also see some people who have kids at home and need to get out of the house, asking their boss to be like, hey, I know you sold your office building, but I can't be here.
Right.
Put me over there.
Right.
So
that's huge. You're probably right. It'll take a little small dip here because of COVID, but once it comes back,
but I think there's some opportunity in some co-working space, especially the more private co-working spaces. So there's 2 models of co-working space. I did some research when I was looking at another franchise to start. So there's like the WeWork model where it's big open concept and there's fun crap and games to play and people to socialize with, where the post-college kids like to go and work.
Yeah.
Then there's, it's not EcoSpace. I just blanked on their names. But there's one in Fort Collins. They're a Denver-based one. But they do more of the private offices.
Oh, okay.
And they do have the desks. They do have some of the desks where you're just lined up. But they have more, it's much more private. It's more like a traditional office feel.
Yep.
I could see a lot of people saying, I can't do work from home because of stuff. Right. But I can work from an office like that remotely.
And I checked those out one time when we were thinking about expanding to the Loveland area. We went to the Loveland shop over here, and it was basically a 12 by 12 office that had 3 or 4 desks in it, and then it had its own separate little conference room off to the side that was like 8 by 8 or 8 by 10 or something. And I don't know, it was like $500 or $700 a month to rent that.
Yeah, it's pretty inexpensive.
Yeah.
And it works, like the model works, so the company goes in and leases all this space,
right,
subdivides it, and then they can rent out each little one.
Yeah.
More per square foot, but it makes it obtainable. So
yeah, I would definitely not start that. If you're starting one of those, probably wait.
Yeah. There's too many unknowns for that one.
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, I was not far along in the process, but I had been talking with this franchise for quite a bit, and then February lockdown came down, everybody got sent home. I'm like, no. I called them up. I sent them an email like, due to the changes in the world, I'm not interested anymore. And they said, we understand.
Duh. Well, and so in the residential market, we're seeing people flee the towns, the big city life. Yeah. So Denver is we're getting more people up here in the rural area, because people are getting away from Denver and the sort of politics of a big city and the mass exposure to COVID and all this stuff that's been driving them out of the city. The riots, the looting, those things have helped too.
Well, over the last 10 years, I think there's been this shift as people have gone back to cities. They've gone back into smaller apartments, the tiny homes, where they can be like, I only need this much space because I go to my gym, I go to this place, I eat out all the time, I don't need a kitchen.
Right.
Now, all those things got shut down and you're back in this tiny little box.
Yeah, true. You're dying.
I can see how a lot of people who were okay, I just need a place to sleep, shower, and shit. And so I can get on with the rest of my life, go back and have been in that little space for 6 months and decide that that's not...
Yeah, I need a house. And a farm somewhere close to buy food from.
Yeah, I'm working remotely. I can work remotely from Wyoming as well as I can from downtown Denver, so...
Well, and I think a lot of the ancillary things that run cities are shut down, so... I don't know if you've been downtown Denver lately, but it's just absolutely disgusting, and there's tents everywhere. And
is there really?
Yeah, it's bad. It's disgusting.
So they're not forcing the homeless out,
and they're not cleaning up. They're not doing anything.
So I was one of the things that came up on my call with this medical doctor earlier was about the homeless, and she's like, there's a big problem because they can't quarantine. So I can see how the city's like, well, nobody's using the parks anyway. Go set your tents out so you're not next to each other.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, and like 16th Street Mall, they shut that down. So they're all there. You walk down there, and it's just...
that's gotta be gross.
Yeah.
That place wasn't exactly clean in the first place.
Right, exactly. So that's what people are running from. It's just when unchecked, when your services aren't working, the street cleaner's not out street cleaning. Or whatever. Yeah. So, but we're seeing that in so that's raising the prices of the homes out here in the rural areas, is creating some necessity to build. But you know what's funny is the smaller builders aren't doing as well as like the larger builders. The larger builders that have bought dirt over the last few years are still going, but like Dennis, he's slowed down.
Yeah.
So
well, and you and I have looked at those lots down in Milliken.
Yeah.
About building one down there, and of course the world shut down and we decided now's not a good time.
Right.
I don't know, I just have a fear at that price point.
Yeah.
That $600,000-$700,000 price point seems really exposed to me right now.
Yeah.
I don't know why, I can't put my finger on it, but
well, and we just don't know when that market's going to shut down. And, and if you have your money in it.
Well, a lot more people. I always go back to a lot more people can afford a $300,000, $400,000 house than a $600,000 or $700,000 house.
Right. That's it exactly. And especially with all the loss of the jobs and the oil and gas up here, it's been crazy. But again, I've said this before. Colorado doesn't get hit like the rest of the country gets hit. So,
it's weird.
Yeah.
We exist in our own ecosystem.
We got so many people coming into the Colorado, but
So. Tell me if this is true or not, because I've just kind of been watching listings and everything like that. Are you seeing a weird September time frame as far as number of listings, number of closings, abnormally high?
It's abnormally high, yeah. We haven't shut down. Usually at this time we're super slow, getting ready to wind up the year, trying to get our last little bit of listings off the books. And right now I just picked one up today and we've already had 4 or 5 showings. In 2 hours. We had 4 showings in 2 hours call in. So there's not a lot of inventory in the smaller price range, which
nothing new at this point.
Right. So which it actually says a lot to what you were just saying. The higher price points are staying on the market a little longer. The lower price points are going quicker. But yeah, it's going like gangbusters. I mean, we're going to have a record year this year, actually, Aaron and I, and Aaron especially, not me.
I mean, it's just, well, let me ask. I saw you guys out working the whole time.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're essential workers in the essential industry.
Right.
How was your spring this year compared to the spring last year?
So we still had, again, the smaller markets, the lower markets, we still had to fight and compete, but not near what it was 2 years ago, where there was 10 or 15 bids for anything of $300,000 or less. Now, there's 5 or 6, so you're still competing, but it wasn't as much during COVID. It's been more like just a solid flow all year this year.
Okay, versus the peak.
Yeah, not a lot of valleys. Okay. And not a high peaks either. So, I mean, I say that, but I've been just steady, and Erin, she can have a lot of deals going on.
She kills it all the time.
Right. So she's been solid. If you normally would have 20 deals going, you probably have 15 going at all times rather than 25 and 10. There's not a lot of high and lows right now. And I've noticed that with a lot of our friends too. Everybody's staying pretty busy. So a lot of movement.
Do you think it'll carry over till next year? Or?
I think the election is everything. I think everybody is got their emotions wrapped up in it, and I think if we change presidents, everything will shut down momentarily to see what's going to happen. That's how the world works. Doesn't matter when. Every time you change a president, everybody freaks out. Every election, it gets worse, and then if we change a president, then it gets even worse. People kind of pause.
And it's not that the changes in what he's going to do, it's just a wait and see type of thing. It's not that one's worse than the other. It's more of we want to see what's going to happen. Right.
It's just causes a pause. Believe it or not, it's a little bit of adversity for the country every time we have an election. The country sort of separates. We get, everybody gets violent and crazy, and we fight with our families. And then 3 months after the election, everybody's at Christmas and they're back into life again. And I think that's also part of it. The election is right next to Christmas. Nobody has money, so everything slows down. I'm hoping we'll slow down this year because we need a little break, but I think we'll pick right back up next year.
So what do you think long-term ramifications of coronavirus on the real estate market?
Yeah, again, in Colorado, I don't think we're going to have any huge long-term ramifications. I think what we're going to see is a lot of people that overextended themselves are going to lose their homes. So we're going to have a few more higher-end foreclosures. There's a lot of people out there with the oil and gas and the COVID that can't afford their homes. And once the stimulus has stopped coming in, the extra laws that have been put in to save evictions and things like that, we're going to see that. We're going to feel that. So I'd say next spring probably won't be as violent as it is every spring. You know, we might have a little bit of a more normal market.
There's two things that I've kind of been paying attention to as far as predictions for next year, and one is people will start being forced from their homes. So that could mean more foreclosures.
Right.
Given timelines and everything like that, because it takes a while to foreclose on a home.
Right.
It takes a good 6 months at least in Colorado.
Right.
I would imagine it's going to be longer than that because there's going to be a lot of arguments about Corona.
Right.
You know,
eviction argument. You can't evict them right now.
Well, you can't evict them. Foreclosures are all on hold.
Yeah.
You know, anything housing relating is on hold right now, as far as in the courts.
Right.
So I could see once courts reopen beginning of the year, start accepting foreclosures again. There's a backlog. I mean, there's the people that were normally going into it, then there's the Corona people, and now it's all backed up over 6 months to a year. So they'll have to work through it. Some of those people, if it's truly Corona related, they might get it sorted out. They'll come out of the foreclosure process. But then everybody else is going to continue through it. So probably won't be they will start truly being forced from their home probably end of next year would be my prediction. Again, wild ass guess, don't take it for anything more than that.
A WAG.
Yeah, a WAG, not a WAP. And then, on the other side of that, I think there's going to be a lot more people, there's a lot more equity in properties right now. Obviously during the Great Recession, all the property values just plummeted.
Right.
So people who had equity, even large amounts of equity, say $100,000, saw it just wiped out.
Yeah.
And that's $100,000 in a $300,000 home, and it was gone.
Right.
And they could not sell it they were looking at selling at a loss at that point.
Yep.
The good thing now is there's still a lot of demand, and I think that demand's going to continue. I think prices are going to stay stable or continue their moderate increases. And as long as everything occurs like that and the demand stays high enough, people will be able to recoup some of that equity, or at least not be forced to sell at a loss.
Right.
Because as soon as you start that whole sell at a loss process, it just starts spiraling and eating away at other people's equity as the prices come down.
Yep.
So that's, in my mind, a good thing. People bought a home 5 years ago, they've lost their job and everything, and they can sell it, walk away with 10, 20, 30 grand, and go start fresh.
Right.
So that's good.
Equalize the market a little bit.
Yeah. You know, I think it's good. I think there's going to be a rise in renters as a result of this, as opposed to homeowners, but that's kind of been predicted anyway. We didn't have record home ownership, but we had fairly high home ownership. So that I wouldn't be surprised if that dips to 60% homeowners.
Wow.
Or below. And then, I don't know. I think as a landlord, I'm looking for now, I think we're going to be requiring more security deposits, greater security deposits, because especially right now, if I put somebody in today and they never pay me another dime, they can live there until the end of the year rent free.
Right.
And they know it.
Right.
Because
so I want 6 months up front.
Maybe not that much. But I personally, yes. But the other side of it is, am I better off not even renting my empty units right now because if somebody's in there, there's wear and tear on the property, and they can destroy it. And if they're not paying me, chances are they are rough tenants. I can tell you that already. That's the way it goes.
Right.
Especially if that was their plan from the beginning, was to screw you out of your rent. So if I know and they know that they can't get evicted for 4 months, I want a quality tenant.
Yeah.
And I focus on lower income housing for people, you know. But yeah, I want more security deposit. I want a cleaner record on them. I want clean references, good references. So I know the government's like, well, we need to protect these at-risk people. No, I need to protect me.
Right.
You're making it harder on me to, you know, cover my losses and everything. Fine. Those people that are deliberately screwing the system, they're going to find it harder to find places to live.
Right. Not your
a lot harder.
Not your good renters. Right.
Well, and the unfortunate thing is there's those people who just need a little bit of help, and they'll perform well, but they can't. They're never going to get that chance.
Right.
So stop messing with the housing market, government.
Gary V says, you got shit, I got shit, they got shit, everybody's got shit. So we don't listen to each other's shit. He says something like that.
Okay.
So what you just described was everybody else's shit.
Yeah.
You need to take care of your own shit.
Yeah. I'm working on my shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know.
Awesome predictions, man.
I don't know. I could be way off on all of them.
It's a WAG.
Yeah.
It's a WAP.
Wild as guess.
I feel like trying that dance right now.
I haven't actually, I've seen stills of it. I haven't seen the actual dance yet. But
you heard about TikTok. They got bought out.
Oracle, yeah.
They're super pumped.
Why?
Because I had my videos shadow banned last week.
You had the TikTok?
I just got one because I heard it was getting bought out from the Chinese.
Okay.
So I just started out watching them, and they're so funny, a lot of them. But then I started to realize that there's a lot of like-minded people on there because I was liking videos. And then, so I got an account and I set myself up, and I even made a few videos, but I made one of us out shooting guns, and they took it down within 30 seconds. Yeah.
Because you were shooting guns?
Yeah, in a shooting range. But then you flip up, and I literally flipped up like 3 pages, and there's somebody shooting 2 sheriff's officers in California, and it's like the whole damn thing is right there.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Yeah, that's on there, and that's okay, but
you just out at a range.
Yeah. What? So that kind of shit will stop now.
Yeah. I don't know that. I mean, I don't know that the Chinese government will ever come out and say, yes, we were using TikTok to spy on people, but
probably were.
I mean, they're not doing anything that Facebook and everything wasn't doing already, except for it was the Chinese government, and there was a lot of concern that they were using it with government employees to obtain secrets.
Well, and they don't have to follow U.S. law where they use that information to then come back and use it in a private manner. So how to advertise, they sell your information, like a U.S. company can't sell your information that they get on the social media, and they can't use that to manipulate you into something else. Even though they do on some levels, but there's a super invasive way.
They're almost licensing it from Facebook. Facebook retains the data, and then you say, I want to target these people, and they say, okay, we'll take care of it.
Right.
Versus China was, here's the data.
Right. And whose hands is that going into?
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know if they were, but they absolutely could have been.
Yeah. I know there was concern with governments, and then other companies in the U.S., they were concerned that China would steal their intellectual property because the TikTok's on the phone and next to the guy while he's working on top secret corporate stuff. Yeah. And China would be like, well, our government can't use this, but this government-owned tech company can use it. Here you go.
Right. Well, and that's the part of that law too, is that I believe, I'm just talking, I'm wagging here, wagging. I believe that Facebook can't sell your private information to our government either. Whereas China, it is the government. The government owns it. Yeah, so that's the big deal. But yeah, I'm on TikTok now just because it's fun to watch, and I found a lot of like-minded people, and yeah, some of the videos are hilarious, but there's a lot of crap on there too. But I think it's going to be a safe space for everybody. There's not going to be a whole lot of taking down of one side or the other.
I had a Musical.ly account when it was still
Yeah.
Musical.ly before
Yeah.
TikTok, and the only reason I got it is my daughter got on there, and she kept saying, "Watch my videos and give me likes,"
Yeah.
and things like that. So we'd get on and watch her videos and give her likes.
So I had TikTok right when it first came out. I didn't know anything about it. I just saw a video. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And so I got on there, and my kids told me that creepy old men are the only ones on there.
On TikTok?
Yeah, and so I immediately erased it and got off of it. Like, I'm done. That's all I needed to hear. And then now it's changed into it's morphed. It's actually morphed into it's bigger than Facebook, really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's got a lot of potential still. I can see why both Oracle and Microsoft wanted to own it.
Yeah, it's big money.
So I'm going to reserve my judgment on where I think it's going, but I don't know. I'm getting tired of new social media things.
I know.
I'm going to keep my Facebook probably forever just because I've had it forever.
Right. It's a good tool.
Yeah. But I never did get into the Snapchat.
The Snatch Chat. Yeah, no way.
No.
They call it Snatch Chat for a reason, Josh.
Dude, I couldn't understand it. I'm like, I don't understand how to find people. Who am I talking to?
I know.
Why are people sending me pictures of their dog? Why are they sending me pictures of their kitty?
Right. And I want to look at that picture longer than 5 seconds because, oh, that's pretty cool. It's gone.
Yeah.
Forever.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? Anyway, Snapchat, not my thing, but I like Instagram. Been on Instagram since before Facebook bought it.
Yeah, that's pretty good too.
But they're starting the Facebook shit, and it's starting to annoy me where the ad I don't know if you've been on Facebook where every fourth post is an ad.
Yeah. Oh, it's annoying.
Got that shit going on now too.
Yeah.
The good thing about Instagram ones is they've got usually got a nice picture or something,
Yeah.
so it's pretty to look at.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Anyway,
We digress.
we're way off topic for our real estate predictions, so let's
peace
call
out.
it a day so we can be done.
Go learn the WAP. Just kidding. Don't. Bye.
Join us on Facebook at the Jobless Legion, or subscribe to our YouTube channel and like, comment, and share
So that we can get the message out to aspiring entrepreneurs just like you.
Thank you.